Everyone, welcome to our
between them being a student and entering into the corporate world. So internships, I think it's really a good idea because you get to have the experience that you didn't get from school.
Yes.
Like because in school I just taught the theory part,
Yes.
but we don't have enough time. They don't focus much on the practical part. So I think it would be very helpful for them for one as a student who's graduating to take interest in doing internships, so that they grasp that experience and advance in their skills.
Yeah. And do you think like most of the time we're doing it for free? It's valuable for someone like a student like me to actually do some volunteering for free.
Yeah, it is because I think that's important because once you volunteer, despite people say no volunteering, you're not getting paid, it's a good thing because you are the one who's benefiting the most.
Yeah.
Despite money being a slight motivation, you are the one who's benefiting the most because you are getting those hand-to-hand experience in the industry. Yeah, so I think this was a very good point that Deborah and Chris talked about.
Yeah.
So moving on to our next interviewees, we'll look at Mishek. It's Mr. Mishek and Mr. Bob.
Yeah, Mr. Mishek and Mr. Bob.
Yeah.
So let's hear what they actually say.
Yeah. What are your plans at this point?
Yeah, basically, it starts from here. Here, that's why you can make the channel of connection through our lecturers, through our friends. That's why we say when you are here, when we are like classmates, you each other. What I'm good in, what is not good in. If I know that is good in something, as soon as I go in society, I can recommend him something. And from our lecturers, they're able to identify our skills as early as possible.
And you, sir?
Oh yeah, like
He's saying,
everything just has to be. Just have to be active in everything. After school, you don't have to wait for after school for you to be active in the society. Everything starts from you. Build yourself, train yourself, then when you go outside the society, you go there like built up like everything.
Looking at what they have just from here, what we have from here, right? Like they basically just talked about us ourselves as students, right? Connecting to our fellow students, also connecting to our lecturers, so that these same people that we're connecting to, they can actually help us to have expanded network, whereby if we are basically we know someone, say like the lecturer can also connect us to someone maybe who is employing, like the employer, right? So that we have this ability to actually just get employment through the connections that we have actually made in school.
I think just to add on what you said, Bob also mentioned the concept of being self-made.
Yes.
Yeah, being self-made. You mentioned the point of it's an adult business, so you don't have to wait for someone to employ you. You have to be the employer. So you have to start that job yourself. You have to start that company yourself. So that you don't just have to wait for someone.
And looking at that, looking at what Bob said, right? Okay, by just saying like that, right? It may seem to be a difficult thing to actually do. But once you just start, as small as maybe as small as you can actually manage and build up on the same thing, you're actually going to actually progress and build something huge for yourself.
Yeah, just like the saying goes, think big but start small.
Yes.
So moving on to our next.
So I would love by doing some interns that would help me to like go into or maybe be recognized. Yes. Because there is that situation in this world that there is that limitation of.
Just talked about as a student, right? Or before you even graduate, or before maybe being a first year, right? You can actually do some internship, right? That will actually put yourself in a position whereby if the company, like for instance, you're applying as a graduate, you're applying for a job where the company that you're applying for a job require the minimum experience maybe to be there, maybe 3 years or 2 years. And that internship that you have been doing during school time or during the time that you have been in school can actually help you to have an advantage to close up the gap of 3 years of experience.
Yeah, and I think she raised a very good point because there are some pre-qualifications that are attached to certain programs. For instance, as an accountant, you'll be at an advantage because once you just graduate, you finish your degree, you'll just be an accountant. But once you obtain that professional qualification, such as writing exams with SICA, you'll be a chartered accountant. So those pre-qualifications are also an added advantage because you stand a better chance of being employed. Yeah. So I think that is a very good thing to have an experience.
To have an experience and then if you are doing an internship, right? You can actually ask the company to actually recommend you or to give you a recommendation letter which you use as an advantage or that will be added to the CV so that you have an advantage compared to someone who actually has done an internship. So moving on to our next interview, which is applicant, right?
Yeah. So here's what you have to say.
Okay, I think the main point or the main thing we have to do as graduates after graduating, we have to sell ourselves to the world. The world should know who we are. As they say, it's only when you open your mouth that the world will know who you are. So I think upon graduating, as a graduate, you have to attend as many meetings as possible, do some attachments. Don't just wait for formal employments or people to give you work. You have to sell your skills first. The world should know what you are capable of doing. So you attend those attachments so that you're able to mingle with prominent people in the world. By attending those attachments and doing events, people will know all your skills. And you also have to attend some seminars, if possible. Move around, see what other people are doing in the world. Don't just remain stagnant. Don't just remain homes waiting for people to. They won't even know in whatever state. It's only when you go out there, the world will recognize who you are. So you have to attend those seminars, do attachments, join some NGOs, and do everything possible to sell out your skills to people.
Okay, that's really an interesting answer. Now I've got another question for you. Looking at what you're saying, you are basically focusing on what is on after school. So what are you telling the fellow graduates or people who are students? Are you telling them that they should do that after school or they can also start it from here?
Yeah, I think they have to start it from here. The most key point is to gain their confidence, always stay curious. Because it's only when you have confidence, even when you go out there, you'll be able to stand before anyone. You'll be able to stand before big people. You find some prominent people out there. So the key thing is that you have to gain your confidence, sharpen your skills from there. Read more, watch more things on YouTube, how prominent people have navigated into the corporate world. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of start shaping their skills right here before they go out there. It's the most important.
Thank you so much, Mr. Happy, for having you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cohen. I really like what you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
And you've also touched about the same internship, right? And you've also touched about marketing yourself, like putting yourself out there so that the world can know. And the question that we may ask ourselves is, say, who are you right now? Like for example, when you look at academically, like professional, yeah, you get to wonder, that people actually don't know you because you are not putting yourself out there, you're not marketing yourself in the way that it is. You become marketable to the industry, and people are able to recommend you to various companies that are employing.
Yeah. So I also picked the point to say you're supposed to be attending webinars.
Yes.
Webinars, seminars, and get to have that feel, get to be in the presence of intellectuals, get to be in the presence of professionals.
Yeah.
In that way, if you are interacting with those people, they'll actually give you more ideas on how they can even, from doing that, you even make, you will make connections. You've been making connections at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, you actually gain more confidence.
And recognition.
Recognition. So whereby if you gain more confidence, you are able to actually consider yourself to be someone who actually is capable of doing the job. Or yes.
Yeah. So that is a very good point as well, because we talked of where does this have to start from? Does it have to start from once you graduate, or it has to start once you're still a student?
Yes, this can actually be. It's something that you can actually implement as maybe as early as the first year, right? Before I even started my tertiary journey, right? I was actually just attending some seminars, and this seminar actually helped me to actually realize the program that I needed to do, and it's actually helped me to find the passion, what I'm actually passionate about.
Yeah. So I think that is a very relevant point as well. So here you have it. Make sure you get to advertise yourself. Make sure you get to develop those skills. If you have a skill, don't just let it sit back. Use it. Say it. Move on. Mr. Kasonde. Mr. Kasonde also highlighted the same points. He basically was talking about the internships. As an engineer, you are supposed to be doing those practicals. Get to fix things here and there. It all starts from home. It all starts from here in school.
Yes.
All those concepts that you're using, utilize them and put them to the best use. So looking at Jedediah, we had some important notes that she spoke about.
Well, it's not really easy per se, because a lot of people say it's a bit difficult when they go into society. It's not easy to find jobs, but there are also certain things that we can do to ensure that we get what we want soon enough. So I've been thinking maybe to get my master's, get an MBA, that's a master's in business administration. Then maybe also I can look at CLE after that. So that will also open my mind to other things as well, not law.
Spoke about. She was talking about diversifying, not just doing one specific. Help yourself combating that gap between you being a graduate and as you penetrate into the corporate world.
And I think just touching a little bit about what she actually said. just stay there. They won't actually able to employ the skills that you have actually gained, because the skills and everything, the skills that you have acquired in school and everything that is happening there is totally different. So you have to move in the place where you can actually become a problem solver.
Yeah, and last but not the least, we're moving on to blessings.
So, most of the time when I do, I'll talk about my part. I feel like networking is really important. Yeah, networking. I've seen a situation whereby like a person is graduating on graduation day, then you ask them, they say, okay, like what are you doing after this? Like where are you going after this? They have no idea actually. You know, they don't even have a certain, you know, or option or plan. So most of the time, like as we are students, like this, what's really important is, you know, networking, making connections. There are so many things that you can do. There are children of ministers here. There are children of doctors. You know, there are different people here at school. So I feel like really networking, not just working within your program or whatever. You know, you extend your, you know, your network and everything that you're doing. So I think that's what's really important as a student. You know, networking, getting social, especially utilizing leadership. Leadership, it opens doors. You know, it opens doors. I've seen a lot of previous leaders, most of my friends are in leadership who are emotional. I've seen how they actually gain opportunities and whatnot. So I feel like you just network and put yourself in a position whereby you're willing to serve, and that's really.
And last but not the least, we're moving on to blessings. I like blessings points because he was highlighting to say you have to put yourself in a position where you need to serve other people. So you need to put yourself in a position where you create a scenario where, let's say, okay, this is a film. It seems these guys are like this type of field. So let me put myself there. Let me put myself on the chopping board so that I can try to be a leader.
Applying that can actually be done by maybe basically if you are doing a computer programs, IT, right? Yes. IT is one of the things that can actually help you to become to place yourself to place yourself in the place where you are willing to serve others. Maybe you've noticed like a certain company, their system is not okay, or it's easily penetrated.
For more content.